All right, we made it. Our final 3-round mock draft, wrapping it up with the Kansas City Chiefs, who finished the year with a 15-2 record, but their season is not over yet. As of recording right now, they are playing in the AFC Championship game against the Buffalo Bills. So they could be picking anywhere from 30 to 32, because obviously even if they lose, they wouldn't be the lowest conference loser. So 30 to 32, somewhere in there, the Chiefs would be picking. But as of right now, they're the Super Bowl favorite, and they are picking at number 32 overall, and what would be the third straight year, which has never been done before, Dalton, if they can win the Super Bowl this year. We'll see what happens, obviously, next couple weeks. But Kansas City currently picking number 32 overall. We're going to be doing a 3-round mock draft for the Chiefs using PFF's Mock Draft Simulator. You can find that at subscribe.pff.com. You can draft for the Chiefs, your favorite team, or all 32 NFL teams. 1 round, 3 rounds, 7 rounds, whatever you want to do is available with the PFF Mock Draft Simulator. We won't be doing it here, but you can trade players and picks using the PFF Mock Draft Simulator as well. But starting off the Chiefs with a 3-round mock draft, number 32 overall here at Dalton. Hard to make them too much better than what they are right now, but they do have some needs on this roster. This is still a team that has some weaknesses. They are just kind of being overcome by voodoo magic from Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and all those guys down there. But here at number 32 overall, who catches your eye?
All right, there's a lot, actually, I think the Chiefs could improve upon, right? We talk about they're not a particularly explosive offense this year. You could use a weapon maybe with some speed at wide receiver. I know they got Xavier Worthy last year, but they've kind of been using him lately as a screen gadget guy. I think trench depth on either side of the ball would help them. They've had all sorts of issues at offensive tackle this year, and Trey Smith, the star right guard, is a free agent. They may not be able to afford to keep him, so anywhere on the offensive line could help them. And I think the defensive line too, beyond Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, is not a ton of depth there, so any of those spots I think could help. You know, when you look at a Wyatt Milam, depending on if you think he's a tackle or a guard, could help them probably at either spot, especially if they're trying to move Joe Thuney back inside, right? Maybe Wyatt.
Trey Smith's free agent, isn't he?
Trey Smith is, he's going to be a very expensive one at that. And I don't know that they could, because the two big free agents they have are Trey Smith and Nick Bolton. So we may also be looking at linebackers here in the next couple rounds. But I think trench help here on either side of the ball, whether it be another edge player to go along with Karlaftis or somebody on the offensive line. And I think we're having a lot of fun studying this offensive line class, because so much of it is, okay, is he a tackle? Is he a guard? Is he this or that? I think there's a lot of these guys we're going to talk about is just who are the best offensive linemen, and we'll find spots for them later. That might be the case with a guy like Wyatt Milam, and the Chiefs could go, okay, is he the left tackle? Is he the right tackle? Do we do something with Jawan Taylor? If he plays guard, could he be our right guard? Maybe he's the guy that you just get in the building and figure it out later where the best spot is, right? It's kind of what they're doing in the opposite sense with a veteran with Joe Thuney right now, where it's like, okay, our best thing right now is to have him at left tackle, but it's also not optimal. You get a guy like Milam, at least he's a skilled guy to have, and you figure out where to put him in the summer.
And, he actually went earlier. So I was going to mention Josh Connolly Jr. as a guy that maybe you feel a little bit better just playing tackle. I love Wyatt Milam, though. I mean, you get the argument he was the best offensive tackle in college football this year. He was phenomenal. He's been like that for a couple years now. He's been phenomenal at West Virginia. So I personally probably go with Wyatt Milam here. I think I'm going to have him OT4 in the draft behind Calvin Banks Jr., Will Campbell, and Armand Membu from Missouri. I like Wyatt Milam a lot. That's where my vote would go personally. I think he's a first-round player easily on my big board right now. So if he's here at 32 overall, that'd be a pick that I really would like for Kansas City to make.
I like it. I think if we're talking about some other options here, I think I saw Tyleik Williams. I think at the top of the board would help them in run defense. I think Walter Nolan would help them. I think Donovan Ezeraku is a really interesting edge player, especially as a pass rusher. But I'm with you. You got to protect Patrick Mahomes, and if you that would be my question for you. Wyatt Milam, left tackle, Kansas City Chiefs 2025. You leaving him there?
You could try it. I think he's worth the try. I do think there's a good chance he kicks inside to guard, but like you said, that can still help out the Chiefs regardless. So,
absolutely. I mean, they just need to get better at multiple spots anyway. So, no, I get it. I think that's a good move. We go with Milam as a talented offensive lineman and let Andy Reid figure it out.
He's more developed, and maybe he's different now because he's got a year in the NFL under his belt, but like you could put Milam at left tackle for now. Then if you need to kick him inside to guard, you still have Kingsley Suamataia that you hope develops into a starting caliber tackle for you. And I think, Sumatia's his physical tools point to him staying at tackle more than Milam might. Where I think Milam's a little more versatile. You hope that Sumatia can develop into your starting tackle.
I think all of these are conversations they're going to have over the next few months, absolutely, about this whole offensive line class. So I think it's a good move. Protect Mahomes at all costs.
Yeah,
that's always what it's going to be for another 10, 12 years of us doing this.
And he was phenomenal this past year. So I do love that pick right there. All right, number 64 overall. In this draft. You mentioned D-tackle before. You mentioned linebacker Chris Paul Jr. staring us in the face here. That could be a really fun pick for Kansas City. Who stands out to you here?
Paul makes some sense. I mean, we're going to see about – I think of the two big free agents, Smith and Bolton, they're more likely to keep Nick Bolton. He's not having quite his best year. But
you see Deion Walker right there?
Yeah.
Who better to learn from than Chris Jones?
That's also true.
The guy you said as the high-end comp for Deion Walker.
I have said
the
that.
high-end comp, by the way.
It's a high. That's a Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame comp, yeah.
If I'm making a Hall of Fame comp on Deion Walker, I mean, that would be the guy to learn from. And look, I think at this spot, there's going to be debates about Deion Walker, about, does he go and tear up the combine and run a 4.6 like he tells you he's going to? Or, what kind of athlete is he up there at 330, 340? It's a guy who could still rise, on a lot of boards between now and the draft. But you talk about a ceiling, we've seen it before, especially as a pass rusher. I mean, it's in there. We just didn't see it a lot with Kentucky. We didn't see a whole lot of anything from Kentucky this season. So I think if you were taking a home run swing, that might be worth it.
And I do love the thought of him learning under Chris Jones as well.
Just the idea. But the one guy he could who better?
Because nobody else, like you mentioned, there's no one built like Deion Walker in the NFL, so it's hard for him to learn from anyone. It's like, dude, I'm 6'6", 50?
Yeah.
It's like Chris Jones is the one freakishly big D tackle that's made it really work. That's the guy that I think he could learn a lot from.
There's a chance that Walker doesn't last this long, depending on pre-draft process, and especially the combine. I think that's when the freak out might happen with his measurables and how he goes through the drills. But the potential,
still had a good year. I know people are like, oh, he got a down year. It's still a solid year overall. It wasn't as good as his sophomore year.
And I even like that he's incredibly durable there. You see the amount of snaps he's played. Yes. I think that 728 in 2023, was that top 5 or something in the country?
Yeah,
he was up there. I think if you're taking a talent swing, he might be the guy. At 64, you don't mind it nearly as much as if it was a first-round pick.
I mean, in our way too early mock for last year for the draft, we had Deion Walker as a top 10 pick in the draft because of his freakish tools. And he still has those freakish tools. They haven't gone away.
If he were to ever hit his full potential, you would have a problem.
And they found Chris Jones on day 2 of the NFL draft, too.
That's true. People forget he was a second-round pick.
All right, I think we're talking ourselves into this one. I think we have to do it. All right, let's do it. Deion Walker to the Kansas City Chiefs here, the tail end of the second round.
Oh, 2 spots later, we're up. See this?
All right, there we go. Perfect.
This is why we felt good about it right here. We get another good player. All right, now we get fun. Chris Paul's still an option.
I was going to say Chris Paul is where I'm at least leaning right now.
The Chiefs are always taking defensive backs that not many people have heard of and making them great. I think Josiah Stewart actually isn't a bad option either.
Fun,
he had a really good year at Michigan. Doesn't have a ton of length, plays in that wide 9 often, but the Chiefs are always looking for those designated pass rusher type of guys, right? Karlaftis is the one every down player, but this year we see Charles Omenihu, we see Mike Dana, we see Felix Anudike-Uzomah, who hasn't done much in 2 years as a first-round pick. Maybe Josiah Stewart, if we're really beefing up the pass rush. I think either an edge player or a linebacker, or maybe the other one, or maybe wait till next round. I think a guard, too.
Yeah.
If we're thinking about, okay, maybe Milam plays tackle. If Trey Smith leaves, I still need one of those spots in the offensive line filled out. So we're doing some dirty work here with the Chiefs, but we got to find guys on the inside who can help them out.
What about some depth pieces in the secondary? I'm looking at the analysis right now, what most Chiefs fans do with this pick, and a lot of them do pick a cornerback or a safety here.
A corner makes some sense. Eventually, they're going to have to pay Trent McDuffie. And again, it's just the way the Chiefs operate.
Kevin Winston Jr. is still there, too, as a safety.
Winston's there as a safety. They've been going with Connor and Brian Cook and some other young guys back there who've produced. Zy Alexander, because we know, Steve Spagnuolo likes his man coverage, too. And at any point, the luxury with them is Trent McDuffie. Because at any point, you could just go, all right, put Trent in the slot. And that's what they've done with Jalen Watson and Josh Williams is they like, and Alexander might make sense. They like guys with size. They like guys who can press. They like guys who can play man coverage. And this is a thing where Alexander doesn't have to come in and start. They can do the same thing they did with Watson and Williams where, hey, we need you 20 snaps a game up front, and we're going to use you in an optimal. Zy Alexander would make, if you were looking for corner depth, that might be the guy.
Azaria Thomas is still there, too, I just saw.
That's another one, too. I think
I think I would like him in that scheme a little bit more than
either or, same principle. Good size, press man, don't have to play full-time right off rip.
Yeah, I don't hate that. For me, Thomas or Kevin Winston Jr. makes some sense if you think they need some help at safety. Those are a couple guys I was thinking about, or you can take Chris Paul Jr.
What is Thomas? Because I can't remember off the top of my head. What is Thomas size-wise?
6'2"?
Compared to Alexander.
Yeah, 6'2", buck 98.
Oh, man, he could go with either. Those are steep.
I think Thomas is better in that role than Alexander. Alexander's a good player,
they're
but
both
they're same
size.
Yeah,
yeah. They're either flip a coin because I think those are two guys when you look at, especially like with Watson. McDuffie's his own thing because he's just a freakish player. You look at Watson and Williams and what they've drafted in the past at corner, either of those two guys makes sense.
I think Azaria Thomas, like I said before, might be a top 5 corner for me in the draft. Right. I haven't decided on it, so.
Flip a coin. I think they're very similar type of players.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to do Azaria Thomas then to the Chiefs here. That could be a really, really fun pick for them in this mock draft. I don't know if Eli.
We can do that for sure. We'll slide down a little bit.
Yeah, Eli, where is he?
Yeah, we'll go with that. And there's your usual mid to late round defensive back that the Chiefs are always hitting on because they never miss on any of them. All right, here we go.
Final pick here.
Running back.
Still got Gelati. You mentioned edge defender before.
Gelati, Q Robinson. I'll tell you what, a running back doesn't. I don't hate the idea. I know they don't usually take him, although they did it once with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That was way high. But when you think about, okay, Pacheco is going to be there, right? But they're not going to sit on. I mean, Kareem Hunt's a Band-Aid. So I think about a guy maybe with some feet, like an R.J. Harvey from UCF. I think that makes a lot of sense because they're kind of missing this year. When you look at them, in past years they had. Even a Jerick McKinnon, right? I know they've tried to do some with Samaje Perine, but it's not a lot of speed. I think R.J. Harvey might be a guy that sticks out to me.
Yeah.
For this, I just love him in space, right? And I'm so curious to see even at the Senior Bowl what he looks like running routes and catching the ball. Because if you get him out in space, he's got lightning feet, man. I mean, we saw it at UCF all year. They didn't throw the ball to backs a ton, but they got him on the edge a lot. He's explosive in the open field. I wouldn't hate some depth at running back. And again, we're going to see with the depth of this running back class, even teams that you don't think need running backs,
they're going to take them.
They're going to take another one just to fill the room with talent. I think Harvey could be a really good fit here, as much as the Chiefs generally love to throw the ball to their backs.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think R.J. Harvey would be a really, really fun fit in that offense. So R.J. Harvey at the top there. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, he's phenomenal. I think he's a really, really fun player to watch. And they went to the speed before. The one-cut ability he's got, the jump-cut ability he's got is really, really talented as well. He's been so productive at UCF for a few years now, honestly. So R.J. Harvey to round out this 3-round mock draft for the Kansas City Chiefs. To kind of recap what we did for the Chiefs in this 3-round mock, we took Wyatt Milam in the first round, Deion Walker in the second round, Azaria Thomas in the third round, and R.J. Harvey in the third round as well. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about this 3-round mock draft for the Kansas City Chiefs. That wraps up all 32 teams that we've done for this 3-round mock draft series. A lot more draft content coming on this channel and also on the PFF College Football Show channel as well. So make sure you guys subscribe to both channels so you don't miss any of it. For Dalton Wasserman, I'm Max Chadwick, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.